Good evening, Jessica Harmson with ABC News. Tonight we have an exclusive development in the ongoing expenses scandal engulfing South Australia's Parliament. The senior Liberal MP at the centre of the scandal doesn't want the public to know the address he nominated for election. Terry Stevens is seeking a court order to keep the home address secret, arguing its release could invade his privacy and security. That's despite a tribunal accepting that it's likely he doesn't live there and hasn't for years. The tribunal also accepted the ABC's evidence that his election address didn't match the address he used to claim thousands of dollars in allowances. Patrick Martin has this exclusive report with additional reporting from Nick Harmson.
Last year, Terry Stevens insisted he lived at Victor Harbour. The South Coast postcode meant the senior Liberal could claim hundreds of dollars for each night he spent in Adelaide while on official business. But his eligibility to claim that allowance was called into question when the ABC demonstrated he was spending significant time at a second property in the city and that the Victor Harbour apartment he owned had been rented out. The revelations prompting this declaration.
My principal place of residence is Victor Harbour. From 2011 to 2017, I lived in an apartment that I owned, and from 2017 to the current day, I live in an apartment in the same complex.
That move from apartment A to apartment B was backed up by Mr Stevens' expense claims, which show a change in address from May 2017. But there's more to this story. In December, the ABC used Freedom of Information to check which of the addresses Terry Stevens had used to nominate for election in 2018. He fought the release and won, convincing the Ombudsman his family's security and privacy would be threatened. The ABC sought a review in the Civil and Administrative Tribunal, which heard a letter from Mr Stevens' lawyer had revealed the nomination address as apartment A. That's the same apartment he'd told Parliament he'd moved out of almost a year earlier. The ABC submitted that his security could not be threatened, given he had not lived at the apartment for years and had since sold it. The tribunal agreed.
I am satisfied that if the address provided in the nomination form is as assumed, the submissions are powerful. It is already in the public domain, put there by Mr Stevens, and its disclosure will not threaten his or his wife's privacy or security.
The ABC successfully argued that all political candidates who are listed on the public electoral roll must disclose their address by law. Terry Stevens declined to answer questions for this story and has always denied any wrongdoing. But if the address on his nomination form is what his lawyer says it is, then the MP has officially declared to live in two places at once, one for electoral purposes, the other for allowances. And that discrepancy could have serious consequences. As he has throughout, the Premier is standing by his MP, insisting there has been no deliberate wrongdoing.
Premier.
Yes, I stand by all my public comments.
Mr Stevens is still trying to keep the nomination form secret while he mounts a challenge next month in the Supreme Court. Patrick Martin, ABC News, Adelaide.